What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Chinnus. Today is July 25th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my massive haul here of 35 with 25 different titles. So this was a big spec-heavy type of week. I have read through the stack. Starting off on the DC side, we have Teen Titans number 20. So this one here is the first full appearance of this character here, Roundhouse, as well as Crush, which is Lobo's daughter. I really feel they're going to do something with Lobo's daughter going forward, animated series, something of that nature. So I did go a little bit spec heavy on this one. I picked up, let me see. So I picked up a total of 5 for my speculation box and 1 for my personal collection, which I stuck in Mylar. Actually, I guess my reader copy will be a number 6 for the speculation buy. So yeah, I don't pick up as many as I did, but definitely pick up 1 just for the first appearance of these 2. So brand new team. Damian by far is one of my most favorite characters out there. I enjoy how this new team that he's put together here is going to be under his his total command, his total control. No other superhero above him meddling in with what their objectives and goals are. Really look forward to this Teen Titans going forward. So again, pick it up, number 20 just for the first appearance, but enjoy it for the storyline. Next up from DC, Action Comics number 1001. So this is yet another title that Bendis is picking up. I guess you could say this is like his third Superman title that he's done with that first miniseries that he did. So this one, not enough to pick me up as an ongoing series, to tell you the truth. Artwork, I feel, is maybe like a 3.75. Very, very decent. Love the artwork, but maybe just a 3.75. Didn't hit that little 4 mark. This one did have a first appearance, however. A brand new villain. What is his name? I think it was like Red Cloud, I believe is his name. And let me just go ahead and kind of fast forward to the end, which I believe showed him at the very end. Here we go. So, first appearance of this villain here called Red Cloud. So if you're into the first appearance side of things, pick this one up just for that one. Storyline was decent, but again, I think I'm going to pick up both Superman and Action Comic, both in trade. Justice League Dark. So I am not typically a Magic fan, to tell you the truth. Here and there's a few storylines that really capture my attention. This one was decent. So I kind of found it odd that Wonder Woman was part of like the Magic team. She kind of explains that Themyscira, that she grew up with magic, riding like griffins or something of that nature. I don't know. That didn't really sell it to me, in my opinion. It seems like it's weird that she's on this team. Everyone else fits other than a talking monkey, but I don't know, she seems kind of weird. Artwork was pretty decent. I'd give this one maybe like I think again maybe like a 3.75, maybe 3.75. I've seen better. Greg Capullo did, actually I'm sorry, I grabbed the cover B, which Greg Capullo, I believe, was part of. And I think it's one of these covers where it's shared between 2 different artists, and I don't really know how that works out. Don't really know where one stops and the other one picks up. Weird situation, in my opinion. However, this one storyline was pretty decent. Again, not enough to want me to pick up number 2 on. I think I will pick up number 2 to 3 just to kind of see where the storyline's going to go. But not too excited overall. There is another first appearance. They finally came out with the Upside Down Man. This is just a cameo. If you want everything, pick this one up. So I'm going to give you a little spoiler of what that was. So here we go. This is the cameo of Upside Down Man. You can't even really tell what is going on, to tell you the truth. Upside Down Man is right here. So Zatanna is talking to her father in like the afterlife. He's warning her that the Upside Down Man is coming closer and closer. So this is the first glimpse that you see of the Upside Down Man. His full appearance is coming here. Oh man, can't remember. If y'all could please comment down below. I'll try to remember in the editing to put where his full appearance was going to be. But this is just a cameo. If you want the cameo, there it is. Not very impressive so far, in my opinion. So storyline's pretty decent. I'll pick this one up just to pick up the full appearance of him whenever that's going to be. But I think it's going to be here maybe like a number 2 or 3, if I recall that one correctly. The Flash. This one concludes that Flash War, kind of like wraps up the whole storyline. This one here, so as the title says, The Last Race of Wally West. This one here actually brought a tear to my eye. Just Wally kind of going through, they go through his entire storyline, and, so when I read The Flash, I never read The Flash. I got into Justice League of America, JLA. So the Flash there was actually Wally West. But to tell you the truth, I don't think that I was aware that that was Wally, even though I'm sure they said his name. But Wally and Barry Allen, in my mind, back then when I was younger, was kind of like, interchangeable. Didn't really fully know the difference until I kind of came back into comics, read through the Crisis of Infinite Earths, kind of read through everything, understood what really happened to Barry Allen, kind of going into the Speed Force. Wally West kind of took over everything as the Flash, and they kind of explained this all. This is where he kind of was born, and you see his aunt kind of caring for him. His parents kind of like, they basically told him to, leave, and, asked his aunt to kind of take care of him, going forward, to kind of raise him. And Barry did as well. So this was kind of like his upbringing, how he came to be a full superhero. And Barry Allen kind of explains that, he's not fully there yet. He's going to be the greatest superhero there is, but he's going to go into this little hard sector here. So he goes into the Sanctuary, which I guess they're going to explain a little bit more going forward in that Crisis of Heroes, or Heroes in Crisis, coming out, I think, next month. So again, great storyline here, a great tearjerker, personally for me. So yeah, if you enjoy Wally West, you definitely need to check out this Flash number 51. Doomsday Clock. Love this title so far. So I was a huge Watchmen fan. I went back and actually picked up the trade and read Watchmen one more time all the way through here just earlier this year. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I feel that Jeff Johns is doing he's paying great respect, great homage to the original Watchmen. Great storyline. The art format really follows the original 9-panel format for the majority. You have a couple other different pages, but the 9-panel format. Love these two characters, the Marionettes. So this is cover B. Cover A, I picked up cover B just because I really enjoy these characters that they introduced. So these characters came from the original Watchmen universe, but they are created here in this Doomsday Clock title. Great stuff. Kind of like a Harley Quinn and Joker kind of mixed together in a sense. They kind of teamed up with the Joker, and I think 2 issues back now, they kind of stretched out this title for a few more months, and I hate when they stretch out the title, because you kind of forget some of the storyline, to where at the very end of this, I typically go back, if it's a good story, I pick up the trade and read the story all the way through. I hate that little time lapse. Anyways, love this title nonetheless, man. Again, really paying great homage to the storytelling of the original Watchmen, in my opinion. I've heard some negative feedback about this title. I just don't really understand where they're coming from. Great stuff. Great to see, some of the previous Watchmen characters come to life back in the pages again. So again, if you enjoy the Watchmen, I highly suggest to pick up Doomsday Clock. I'm sure they will explain the Dr. Manhattan creating the Flash, the Rebirth universe here. Next up from DC, we have the Terrifics. Again, a lot of similarities back to this team and the Fantastic Four. I see the similarities. This team is a great, this title is a great title, as a standalone, separate from the Fantastic Four, in my opinion. Really enjoy it so far. Enjoy the team dynamics, the dialogue between the two. This was just kind of like a one-off type of adventure, I guess, led from the previous issue. But just a little one-off adventure they kind of go here. But again, really enjoy the team dynamics and the dialogue. So yeah, the Terrifics. Moving on to Marvel. So, Amazing Spider-Man #1. So I saw this one on the shelf. I'm aware that #2 came out here this week. I did not pick that one up. This was the only copy that my second LCS that I went to today had on the shelf. And, something, I knew this is #1. I felt it was a reprint, but like something kind of like, something caught my eye. And, so I started looking at the cover. I noticed that this up limited to 4,000. So just based on that, I picked it up without knowing anything about it. I didn't really see it anywhere. So come to find out, kind of did a little bit of research when I got back home. I saw this on Midtown selling next week for $15. So my LCS sold this one for cover price, which was so this one was $6. I get 10% off for being having a pull list there. but not really sure how my LCS picked it up this week when it's on sale next week on Midtown. I saw this one on eBay selling for up to like $20, $25. So yeah, happy to pick this one up just based on a total hunch. This was a big title from Marvel here this week. So this is Infinity Wars Prime. This is like this one-off issue right before we get into the full Infinity Wars coming out, I think, next week, So I picked up the cover. This was either cover B or C, but notice this one sold out on Midtown with Thanos here on the cover. So I picked it up. My LCS only had one copy of this one. So there is going to be a spoiler here. I'm about to flip through this one. This one introduces the full appearance of Requiem. So there is a spoiler here. I'm going to show Requiem in her full glory, but I'm not going to show you the spoiler that actually occurs here in this one issue. If you're going to be picking up Infinity Wars, or if you are a Thanos fan, I highly suggest that you pick up this one issue. So I'm just going to flip back to the very back and show Requiem here. So she had her first cameo in, what was it, Infinity Countdown number 4. This is her first full appearance. So if you're looking for the first full appearance, here we go. So yeah, Infinity Wars Prime. Moving on to Venom. Love Donny Cates. He's on fire right now. Everyone loves him. I'm not the only one. What he did, so I've never truly been a Venom fan, to tell you the truth. What he's done here, kind of retconning who the symbiotes are. Excellent stuff, dude. I mean, I was just amazed at that number 1. I picked up the number 1 just to have a number 1, but man, it got me hooked. I went ahead and subbed to this one. This number 4? Yeah, I'm sorry. Number 4 does not disappoint. So love it. This is really the backstory of the symbiote god, of how he came to be. Very, very cool stuff going all the way back to the celestial gods. Like, this guy's been around since like the beginning of time. Very, very cool backstory. Man, I love how Donny Cates just kind of starts in the middle and just kind of creates this entire world. Man, love that writer. So yeah, again, if you're into this, if you're into the symbiotes, if you're into Venom, definitely pick this one up. You know, this one kind of retconned some stuff, and I think some people kind of gave some negative stuff about the retconning. Don't care, man. Great storyline. So yeah, Venom number 4. Another number 1 that came out, Mr. and Mrs. X. So this went back, or this kind of followed the storyline where Gambit and Rogue got married when Shadowcat and Colossus did not. This one issue here actually starts kind of like the background, going back to the X-Men Gold. Was it number 30, I believe, where they were supposed to get married, where these two got married. That one kind of rushed the wedding, and I felt it was kind of rushed, in my opinion. It was cool that someone got married, but I felt it was rushed. This one kind of takes it from the very beginning and kind of like walks you through that entire wedding. So it's kind of cool to actually see what happened in the wedding. So this one leads from the wedding, which had some great dialogue in the background, onto their honeymoon out in outer space, surprisingly. And in outer space, they go on to their first adventure, and, you know, we have the entire title here. So these two, you know, I love Gambit. I don't really enjoy both of them kind of together, to tell you the truth. No issues of them together, but not really interested in reading an entire title of just those two together. So I think I'm going to stop at number 1 unless something, you know, really key comes up, or incentive therein or something of that nature. But yeah, number 1 was okay, but I do not think I'm going to be subbing to this one. X-23. So this is number 2. I definitely subbed to this one title. I skipped on the very all-new, all-different Wolverine. And I'm still looking for that number 2 with the first appearance of Honey Badger. Man, I'm so disappointed I did not pick that up. I still remember looking at that number 2 on the shelf and walking away from it. Man, I'm so disappointed I did that. Anyways, going back to Honey Badger, man, I freaking love Honey Badger. So this one kind of picks up the storyline, this little side storyline of the Cuckoos. They resurrected the 2 of the 5 that originally died. One of them died again. So that's kind of like a little separate storyline, while you have, Honey Badger and Laura kind of going through their deal, and Honey Badger is still kind of demanding her birthday. She wants a birthday party. She wants a birthday cake. Hilarious stuff. Great dialogue. I love Honey Badger. So yeah, if you're into that, pick it up. If you like the all-new Wolverine, the last the last title, you definitely will enjoy this X-23. All right, moving into a few of the X titles I picked up this week. XMen Blue. So very cool stuff. Of course, this is the time-displaced team. They were actually taken from their other world right before they fought Magneto, or I think they fought him the first time. You know, they lost. And they're, going through the X room the danger room to fight him again. And that's when they were snatched up. So they still have in their mind to where, they got to defeat Magneto. So this was pretty cool to where it's the current timeline. So you have the current X-Men displaced team fighting the current Magneto. This was a pretty cool battle, in my opinion. Kind of voices why Magneto is kind of after the White Witch, just based on what she did. He feels that she killed, quite a few people, and she, going after for revenge, basically. But yeah, very cool battle between the original X-Men and Magneto. X-Men Grand Design. So this is Second Genesis. If you like the first one, highly suggest for you to pick up this one. If you're an X-Men fan, I highly suggest to pick up this title. This one covered from X-Men number 94, or the giant size X-Men, that introduced a brand new team all the way through the death of Phoenix. Not her resurrection, but just the death of Phoenix. Again, this was really from the perspective of one of the observers, or the Watchers. They don't really explain it here in the second one. They just kind of pick up where they left off the first issue. But again, if you enjoy the X-Men, if you are a fan of the historical X-Men, I highly suggest for you to pick this one up. It's a great read. I also like at the very end how they kind of add some additional details to some of the storylines, some of the history of the X-Men above and beyond. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Grand Design. Moving on to Image. Shanghai Red. So I absolutely love various types of revenge storylines. Man, this one hits that category to the fullest degree, man. Love this stuff. So you had this girl. These people thought that she was a guy at that point in time, but she was Shanghaied. She was basically kidnapped, and the guys who kidnapped her were paid money to sell her as a slave on a ship. Went through that entire ordeal. She's back, and she is after the guys who shanghaied her originally, man. She is after, them for blood, after for murder, man. Great stuff. She actually kills one of her assailants, man. Great stuff. Lights him on fire, just how they show on the cover. Excellent title so far. So yeah, if you're into revenge storylines, definitely check this one out. Shanghai Red. Redneck. So this is totally based on the vampire side of things. If you're into the vampire stuff, if you like True Blood back in the day, highly suggest for you pick this one up. True Blood was kind of based like on Louisiana Cajun type of vampires. This one is really based on more Texas based vampires. Excellent storyline so far. A lot of great action. A lot of great, some comedy here and there, a couple of laughs here and there, but really based more drama and action. So Bartlett out here thinks he's going to die, middle of the desert, sun's coming up, trying to save his niece, and actually picked up by another clan of, they're saved by another clan of vampires. So we're about to get into like someone who he used to love, and he actually turned into a vampire back in the day. So yeah, pretty cool storyline so far to a new story arc. So yeah, Redneck. The Realm. Love this title. This is really like a blend of The Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. It took a little bit of by about the third issue, started kind of picking up a little bit more, but really enjoyed this one title so far. You have the various groups kind of broken up now, kind of doing their own little solo missions. But again, a lot of great dialogue, a lot of good action that occurs throughout this. Great artwork to go along with it. I give this one maybe like a 4 based on the storyline. It really goes with the storyline, in my opinion. So yeah, if you enjoy The Walking Dead, I highly suggest for y'all to go check this one out. The Realm. Moonshine. Yet another monster type of title. I do pick up quite a bit of monster titles. So yeah, Brian Azzarello felt he does a great job on the monster type of storylines. So again, this is kind of like more of a time period type piece. This is the Prohibition type of days, but with a werewolf kind of thrown into the mix. And there's multiple werewolves out there. Good stuff here, a lot of good action. Again, if you're into werewolves, this is a little bit different. Check it out. Moving on to Aftershock. Man, Aftershock is becoming one of my more favorite publishers right now. So Pestilence, Story of Satan, number 3. That first story arc of Pestilence about the zombies, great stuff. This one kind of continued on. This one deals more with like the Antichrist who caused the zombies in that the first story arc. This one has some great humor, man. This guy, you know, it's kind of a smart ass, but love the action, love the humor here. Excellent artwork. I give this artwork maybe a 4.25, 4.5. Love this artwork. So yeah, a lot of great action, a lot of, this is definitely adult, a lot of sexual themes in here, definitely adult based. So yeah, gore, adult stuff, zombies, hard to pass it up. A Walk Through Hell. So I love Garth Ennis, man. There's a lot of storylines that he does that I absolutely love. I've never gotten into his army, like the war stuff, to tell you the truth. Everything else, like The Boys, my absolute favorite title by him. So this was more of a horror based. I love this this cover here, man. Love it. And I will reveal what that looked like on the inside, which was, I think, happened kind of like in the middle. This dude just shoves, they don't show it, but man, bam, just totally shoves his arm down his throat. So they're kind of flipping back and forth in time. They're kind of going from before, and then when the pair is actually in the warehouse and kind of going through, you know, finding all these dead bodies, trying to piece together, you know, what happened. In my opinion, I think they're actually like in like hell, purgatory type of situation. So yeah, love this title, man. Garth Ennis, great storyteller. All right, another great storyteller, Cullen Bunn. So Brothers Dracul. This is kind of like a twist of like real life events that happened with Vladimir and what is his brother's name, but who eventually became Count Dracula and later led into Dracula that we know. So, but this is kind of like a twist on the vampires. You know, apparently vampires have been around for a while here, and they've always sent kids out to defeat the vampires. And I guess there was a belief that the kids were pure of heart, so the vampires would die easier. Didn't make any sense, like, whatsoever. But yeah, a lot of great gore. The vampires actually attacked the city that all the humans are in. So yeah, great battle, great stuff. So if you're into the vampires, it's like a little bit different. Very cool. Great artwork to go along with it. So yeah, Brothers Dracul. All right, I picked one up from Boom. This is Bone Parish, and I saw this one sold out, so I actually picked up one more just as throw this one in the spec box. Really enjoy this one so far. Cullen Bunn. I pick up a lot of titles by Cullen Bunn. He's a great dark storyteller, in my opinion. Kind of like a Stephen King type of guy. So this one's pretty cool. So this one is actually based in New Orleans, in Louisiana, and this is really based, there's like supernatural kind of going on. There's a new drug called ash, and apparently ash is made from grinding up the bones of dead people. Some sort of spells kind of go along with it, and what it looks like, they don't really explain too much here so far, but what it looks like is once you start, I guess you snort this ash, and it allows you to kind of relive like that person's life. You actually see things, you feel things, you smell things. Some of them, I guess you could take like a bad trip, and there's like a bad trip here at the end of this issue. Pretty cool stuff, very, very gory and graphic. But yeah, from there, I could tell this is going to be a great storyline. So yeah, really into it. I did subscribe to this one. As soon as I saw this one in previews, I actually subscribed to this one. So yeah, check this one out if you're looking for like another dark storyline that's out there right now. And I noticed that this one sold out. So yeah, pretty cool cover. I love any type of skull, you know, that's on the black background, man. Love that stuff. So yeah, Bone Parish. Picked up one from Oni, The Long Con. This one had a pretty good premise here. You had some sort of apocalypse in the very end. They don't explain too much, you know. Don't know if it's like it's not zombie. They don't really show it yet. I think it's monster based or alien based. Haven't gotten into it yet, but apparently there was a comic book convention that was going on when this apparent outbreak started, and somehow, this is kind of fast forward in the future now, the con kind of like created like its own little like biosphere, and humans continue to live at the ongoing con. I forgot like how many years. I think it was like 25 years ago or something of that nature. I think there's a lot of time lapse between the previous storyline and what's going on today. But yeah, pretty funny. Some decent action, some humor in there. I think this one will read a little bit better as a trade. So I don't think I'm going to be picking up a number 2. This number 1 was pretty interesting, so I would say pick it up, but I'm going to pick this one up in trade. So yeah, The Long Con. Got a couple from Valiant. So starting off, we had Britannia. This is the third story arc that they put out there so far, the third title. Lost Eagles of Rome. This one kind of focuses, I think so far, on a couple of the soldiers who are part of the first war, going back to the first and second story arcs that we already read through. Artwork looks a little bit different. It seemed like this is a different artist. A little bit of a decline from the last story arc that came out. This one was just okay. I think this is yet another one that I'm going to switch over to trade. Storyline was decent, but I think I'll just kind of pick this one up and trade to read all the storyline all together. So yeah, Britannia. Harbinger Wars 2. So I love Valiant. In the Valiant world, Harbinger by far is my most favorite. So they're like mutants, psiots is what they're called here. Great stuff. So they're continuing where they kind of left off. Bloodshot is under the control of Livewire. Very, very gory stuff. A lot of good action. Ninjak's getting into the working with the government at this point in time, but finding out that it's real. All the psiots are really all kids. So there's no way he's going to start killing kids or start doing that stuff. But this dude, I forgot what his name was. Part of the hardcore group. I forgot what his name was, but yeah, he's basically just trying to rip up the psiots all by himself, man. So pretty good action. Everyone's all in here. Everyone's all fighting. Great stuff. So yeah, I've been waiting for this crossover for a while. Harbinger Wars 2. Last up from Valiant, we have Man OWar. So I guess in order to keep the continuity correct, because Exo is actually in fighting with Harbinger Wars, or fighting in Harbinger Wars, they actually went back and did like his original storyline before he actually got the armor. Pretty cool stuff. If you're into the character, this is great backstory for, what made him who he is, before he lost his family, before all that kind of happened. So yeah, really enjoy Exo. Again, I really felt he was like an Iron Man ripoff, but not really. I was completely wrong on that one. So yeah, Man OWar. So guys, that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.